So as a worship stream representative for our sponsors, Broadfield Distributing and Videoguys, we talk a lot about video production tools in houses of worship. Well, we want to make sure that we talk about the audio production tools because these are coming a long way in the industry as well. And if you're setting up a production system in your house of worship, you want to keep in mind the audio production tools available for these AV over IP workflows and how to integrate them all into your production system. A lot of churches we speak with are using Vizrt, new tech, TriCaster production systems. And if you're using a TriCaster, you'll be very happy to know that Vizrt now has the Viz Connect audio to handle all of your audio production needs as well. We've invited Jeremy Morris from Vizrt to join us to talk about Viz Connect audio and to show where this sits into an NDI audio production workflow. So without further ado, let's welcome Jeremy onto the show. Jeremy, thank you for joining us on WorshipStreamTV again. You've been on this show with us before, right?
Oh, yeah, many times. It's one of the highlights of my year is being part of this, just because of my personal background and professional experience.
And as far as your personal background, I know you've actually done some productions in your local church. You also are one of the product engineers with Vizrt, showing off the products, demoing in all the different trade shows. But you're speaking with the houses of worship that are using these production tools day in and day out, right?
Yeah, last year was a blast. I was able to do the production from my church and even have my kids involved with running the TriCaster and showing off some of our cool tools. But the audio aspect is something that's been near and dear to my heart for a long time. I started as a DJ at 15. I've been doing front of house, EICs, all this kind of stuff as side gigs, side hustle work, whatever, being on the audio side as well. So this has been near and dear to my heart, having this product to be something I could show and focus on for this year's Worship Stream segment. Because you talk about video, you talk about streaming, you talk about cameras, but then a lot of people kind of forget about how am I going to hear the service and where's the audio coming from? You may have solved the front of house mix. You may have solved how I'm getting the mics or the pastor's mic or the band or whatever into the room. But then how do you take it from the room and then take it out on the live stream or going out to production or for archive purposes? And that's where a lot of pain points happen with a lot of churches. When they get to that point, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm not just using an iPhone to broadcast service anymore. We've done the legwork to bring up the video game, but we've kind of let audio lapse a little bit, or we're just taking a feed straight off the in-house board. And sometimes you can do that. A lot of times you can't. So one of the cool things we've been able to do with this product, now we've done a lot of cool things with it. It's not just a breakout box, but it's how you enhance what's going on inside the sanctuary to then be able to distribute that even within the service. If you have overflow spaces or combined locations, or if you're doing any type of cooperation between facilities, now I can use a lot of leverage on the NDI network that we've already established for video to also handle a lot of the audio. And this NDI audio ecosystem here, this was a fun slide I put together, very, very basic, but tells a neat little story. I have a combination of TriCasters, the Viz Connect audio, and also Tetra on the screen. And people are like, well, wait a minute, why do I need to do all this? Well, this goes back to being able to spread the love around audio-wise as well as the video. We can share resources just like we did with video. We can send cameras wherever we need to. We can do the same thing with audio. If I needed separate mix, if I need a mix minus, if I need that overflow or that bidirectional capability, I have that now with Viz Connect audio. So it's far more than just a conversion box.
Absolutely. And with the Tetra, it also opens up NDI Bridge, giving you all that remote production capabilities, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. We even have Bridge on Viz Connect audio. So we can have two completely independent spaces connect up to the same NDI Bridge to share resources. So it's really cool, especially that decentralization of production. Any location can be a source and a destination simultaneously. So a lot of cool projects are in the works right now to be able to do some of that mass distribution. And think about this as an NDI stage box. You can have two of these units, one on stage and then one at the back. I can plug in the analog into that, and then NDI, bring it back down into the mix as separate. Think of it as a mic split. I'm already dealing with what's going on in-house, but I've also have a mic split over NDI going back to broadcast. So it's a lot of cool stuff on board. I really like, and a huge shout out to Chris McClendon, our product manager for this, doing the combo XLRs on the back. Absolutely. So you have a combo of TRS and XLR. So pick your flavor, how you're going to plug that in. So I could have a mic with phantom power, or I could have a line level. I could have an instrument cable plugged straight into that, and then take that feed and then send it back over the NDI feed. So a really cool workflow and way to enhance the box. Like I said, just far more than a conversion, the different types, because every service is going to be different. You're not going to have the same instrumentation, the same vocalist up on stage. You may have a guest worship service come in, and you may have to have different breakouts or different connectivity for that. Well, this box allows for that because I've got front panel controls. I don't have to do everything from the web GUI, but I can. So this being rack mounted, now I can have this in a rack up on stage. It could be in a portable unit. I can dial in each of my inputs. Then I have solo buttons on the front. So I can plug in headphones into the front, solo my inputs, and hear what's going on. So perfect for an A2. They can run around and set up everything, all their levels, and just fax through the entire system on stage, just like it normally would in a traditional analog or a hybrid digital environment when it comes to audio. They're doing it with a product that works on the video side as well. So very slick, very flexible, and there's more to come on this product. So we've got a lot of fun advancements, hopefully in the near future, we can talk about.
Looking forward to those. One of the things I like to say is what the TriCaster has done for the future of video production with NDI technology, AV over IP, on-premise or remote video production capabilities. Viz Connect Audio is expanding those capabilities with the audio production in that same AV over IP workflow. So with Viz Connect Audio, it is the perfect companion to any TriCaster system, giving you all of that same production capabilities. And where it was originally released and designed for use with the Vizrt TriCaster Vision, their latest flagship model, its capabilities have now been integrated across the entire TriCaster family, right?
Oh, yeah. And once you speak NDI, everything speaks NDI. So it makes it, and part of the reason why we're here, even the other partners on. So yes, we can mix and match. We can bring in different signals. You can marry this up and then re-embed that. That's the cool thing about Tetra. I can bring in the NDI audio from this box, marry it up with a different video source, and then send that out over NDI Bridge. So the use cases are astronomical here. The capabilities, the flexibility, having the 4 independent analog outs. So that could be a stereo mix that I send going back the other direction, or I can ISO that. We've even worked with some broadcasters on an IFB system that they're able to use this box in conjunction with some of the stuff they're doing in production. So it's far more than just getting analog audio in and out. It's different workflows, different environments, different setups, and it really can be day-to-day operation. Anything is going to be different. So yeah, from the connectivity, the visibility, the control, from the front panel or from the web GUI, it does make it nice from a setup perspective. Being able to go in and then readjust on the front panel was huge. Having that rotary knob, getting into the menu settings, setting things up. I could even go in and set up the IP address as well. So for a portable environment where it really is run and gun, where different setups each day may have a different network, I don't have to worry about going through and making sure I have the web access. I can do it from the front panel. And the other cool thing that I really love on the back of that unit, there's a power switch. Something we haven't done in a while on some of our units on the back side of it. So yeah, so it does make it nice. It's a power cycle to maintain control and operability of it. It's got the network connectivity. It's got USB connections right now to do firmware updates or things like that. But the box is over-engineered, just like everything else that we make at VizRT. So you can expect more cool things to come with this product line.
And with the control capabilities, either on the device itself or through the web GUI, it really allows you to take advantage in different house of worship workflows, where if you're relying on volunteer resources or have a technical director on staff, you can help set this up where they're going to be successful using it in their daily productions, making it super easy to use, right, Jeremy?
Oh, very much so. Like I mentioned before, if you've got different worship band setups where you may have different instrumentation or things like that, just be able to go up to the box and just like, okay, I'm going to reset my gain structure real fast from the front of the unit is a whole lot easier than trying to have to go back, make sure you've got a computer on the network to dial in, and then go into the input settings. And I've got capability here where I'm showing the web GUI of the unit that I currently have, and that's actually how you hear me. Input 1 is my mic. I'm plugged in. I'm taking NDI out of the VCA and going into my TriCaster. But I'm also controlling the outs. I can do this from here where I'm actually setting up what my source is going to be to then go out those analog out. So it's anything on the NDI network, gain structure, line level, all that fun stuff. And yes, you do get that warning because we do support phantom power. Don't fry your gear. So there's a lot of capabilities in here. You know, we've got the bridge access. We can do that setup, the NDI grouping and everything that you normally can with a lot of our products. But just simple gain structure is huge. Being able to do that from either the front panel or from the web GUI, and then you get the colored view meters to kind of know where your levels are at, makes it very cool to operate and very easy for novices or basics, or even getting volunteers like, hey, once you get in the green, you're getting higher levels. Once you get the red, hey, you're clipping, bad idea. So having that visual representation is very effective for a lot of users.
Absolutely. And I know you just showed off the user interface there. Let's talk about some of the controls on the front of the unit itself.
Yeah, the ones that stick out the most, obviously, are those 8 solo buttons. So all of the inputs on the back have a representative button on the front side of it. And I can solo that to that headphone jack that's there on the left. So that's a great way. I can plug stuff in and I can hear it immediately. Hey, what's my input signal going to look like? What's it sound like? Then I have the rotary knob and the gain control right there to the right. So now I can go and start making adjustments and I can hear what I'm affecting. So it's very cool from an operator's perspective to get the box set up correctly very quickly. And then go in the other direction. I got the menu settings, I got the outputs. So that's those 2 buttons there on the far right, getting the menu control of it. And then I have the rotary knob, I can make adjustments. So I really don't have to be in the web GUI at all. I just like to show it off. So from a front panel, people like buttons, let them play with buttons. We give a lot of buttons to play with.
That's awesome.
Backside, yeah, there are those combo jacks that I'm really, really happy about. So that's a mic level. That's XLR as line level or 1/4 inch. I can plug straight into that. And then I've got those 4 XLRs on the output side to feed monitors, to feed additional speakers. That can be a plug-in if you're doing a mix minus from the TriCaster and then send that back out. I can do that over those 4 XLR outs. And then, yes, my very favorite power switch. You'll also notice the way the rack gears are positioned. This also makes it very nice to mount it on the front or back side of a rack. And even we've got ways to extend those a little bit too. So depending on the depth of the rack, it gives you more support when it's rack mounted in some of those smaller rack profiles. Or you just take the rack ears off completely, like I did to take it on the trip for travel shows, just because I thought the ears stuck out when I had it sitting on top of my other units. So yeah, it can sit on desktop, rack mount it any way you want to with the front or rears, and then have a whole lot of fun doing NDI audio.
Absolutely. And you'll see with that network connection, it is going to be connected to your local NDI network. And that's also going to give you that remote network NDI Bridge capabilities all through that jack as well. Super powerful, giving you all the I/O capabilities you need, giving you the ability to configure and control your audio network in your house of worship production. I know you talked about some of the different settings and controls that you have available with the Viz Connect audio. Let's talk a little bit more about some of those here.
Yeah, sure thing. So you saw the VU meter. I brought that up earlier because that's what I was showing that's running on my unit. The NDI tab, being able to go in and adjust your NDI ecosystem for audio independent of your video, you can do that. So if you have overflow spaces, if you've got classrooms, or if you've got youth worship centers down the hall that are still part of production that you may have to bring in, or satellite campuses or things like that, I can start affecting the NDI grouping there. So I'm not flooding every device with all the audio. I just need to send it where I need to. And then the bridge tab as well. Now I can connect up. If I've got a satellite location where I just need to de-embed that NDI audio from the bridge just to feed speakers, I can do that with that bridge tab. And then the setup where you're going in and fine-tuning a lot of the network, the date and time, which standard of audio you're going to deal with. In the digital space, you'll find most standards aren't really standards. 0 does not mean 0. So utilize those VU meters. Make sure you understand what you're looking at and what you're listening to. That's always a fun part. So a lot of configuration and control that's in this box.
Absolutely. And it really fits into your entire workflow solution. We talked about using it with any of the TriCasters, anywhere along the TriCaster family. It's pictured here with the TriCaster Mini X. It was originally designed and developed for the TriCaster Vision, their flagship device, but it really can fit into any TriCaster production system anywhere along the way with a kind of a workflow like you see right here, right?
Right. And I threw this together mainly to highlight the use case with all of our TriCaster models, but also if you notice there on the right side, the Dante network. If you're dealing with an existing Dante workflow, say you've got your front of house board, your monitor mix, or whatever, and you're taking Dante from that board into the TriCaster, but you still need to get NDI audio out. I don't need to convert the Dante. It's already being done inside TriCaster, and the NDI is already there. Now I can send that audio going out and then analog to speakers to be able to monitor things like that. So we can make NDI audio and Dante audio work very, very well together.
That's great.
And something I always say, we play well with others here.
And I think that's one of the biggest advantages of AV over IP is once you get any of the audio or video onto the network, it opens up huge amounts of flexibility throughout the entire workflow. You can take that network and share it anywhere on the local network or through remote operation with things like NDI Bridge, giving you a lot more production capabilities than you may have had in the past with a traditional connection, right?
Yeah, and something else I just thought of, think about translation services, multilingual services. If you've got different broadcasts that happen that have to hit different language translation services, if you've got someone in-house that can do that translation, now I can bring their audio back in on the retranslate aspect of it and then re-embed that back with the video going out on the live stream. So there's a lot. I mean, the floodgates just open up the possibilities here.
Absolutely. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us on WorshipStreamTV to introduce the Viz Connect audio. Viz Connect audio is, of course, available from your TriCaster integrator and from VizRT's partner network. You can give us a call. We can help match you with a local integrator in your area. If you are using an existing TriCaster system, I guarantee you your VizRT partner already has access to the Viz Connect audio and can help get you added to get all of these great audio production capabilities. If you're looking for a new audio and video production system in your church, we can share those VizRT partners in your local area. They can come in and talk to you about all these production tools, cameras, lighting, you name it, everything along the way, even the LED display walls that you might be using in your local church and throughout your productions. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on WorshipStreamTV.
My pleasure, Jim. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay tuned for more.